creating microclimates, helping life thrive in tough conditions. Hey everyone, welcome back to EcoAlchemy. My name's Pete, and I'm thrilled to have you join me for episode 11, Creating Microclimates, helping life thrive in tough conditions. Whether you're new to permaculture or a seasoned enthusiast, today's topic is something that can truly transform the way you approach challenging environments. In the last episode, we explored techniques to attract wildlife and create a harmonious ecosystem. This time, we're taking it a step further by learning to intentionally shape the land and harness nature's inherent design power to create microclimates, areas where conditions are slightly different from their surroundings. These small changes, like cooler spots under shade or humid patches in dry areas, can make all the difference in turning hostile conditions into thriving habitats. So, grab your notebook and maybe a cup of tea, because we're diving into actionable ideas that will help you not just work with nature, but truly partner with it to build a flourishing, resilient system. Let's start with a simple question. What exactly is a microclimate? It's a small zone within a larger area where the climate stands out as being slightly different. Think of the cool, moist area beneath a tree compared to the dry, sun-baked soil around it. These differences might seem subtle, but are incredibly powerful for creating thriving conditions. By intentionally designing microclimates, you're giving life a boost, helping plants, animals, and even humans adapt better to tough environments. Wherever you are on this planet, whether it's an arid desert or a cold, windy plain, microclimates can be your secret weapon for ecological success. Here's the beauty of it. Microclimates don't just help isolated plants or animals. When done holistically, they act like puzzle pieces that fit together, improving the environment as a whole. Little changes ripple outwards, creating a self-sustaining system where nature takes the lead. Let's talk about one of the simplest and most effective tools for building microclimates: shade. Imagine walking on a scorching summer day and finding relief under a shady tree. It's cooler, more comfortable, and the air feels less oppressive. Now, think of how this impacts plants and animals too, especially in extreme climates. Native trees like velvet mesquite and palo verde not only provide shade, but also enrich the soil with organic matter as their leaves fall and decompose. Their canopies create cooler, more humid zones beneath them, which can nurture seedlings and encourage biodiversity. If you're in a dry area, these trees also reduce soil evaporation, conserving precious groundwater. No worries, temporary shade structures, like shade cloth, pergolas, or even large umbrellas, can help protect young plants while they get established. Another nifty trick: use large rocks or boulders that create shadow zones. These areas can act as heat shields during the day while subtly cooling the air nearby. By thoughtfully adding shade to your landscape, you're not just cooling the ground, you're setting the stage for healthier, more vibrant ecosystems. If you've ever lived in a windy area, you know how relentless it can be. Wind doesn't just dry out your skin. It wicks moisture from your soil and stresses plants, leaving them vulnerable. But here's the good news. You can use natural and man-made solutions to slow down those gusts and create calmer, stable zones for growth. Planting rows of shrubs or hedges is an excellent way to create a natural windbreak. Consider drought-tolerant options like evergreen sumac or Apache plume. Over time, these plants will create a barrier, reducing wind damage to your soil and crops while also providing habitats for birds and insects. Need something faster? Install fences, trellises, or even woven mats to act as wind barriers. Position them perpendicular to the prevailing winds and place them strategically near delicate plants or water retention zones. Windbreaks don't just protect, they allow you to stabilize microclimate zones, making them more predictable and productive. When dealing with tough environments, especially ones prone to drought, water is life. One of the most effective ways to create microclimates is by capturing and holding onto precious rainwater. With the right designs, you can make arid land bloom. Swales, or shallow trenches along contours, are a cornerstone of permaculture. They slow down the flow of rainwater, allowing it to seep into the ground. Think of them as highways for hydration, moistening the soil, keeping plants happy, and reducing erosion. Adding small basins near thirsty plants can improve water collection even further, creating little islands of moisture in an otherwise dry landscape. Layer your swales or basins with organic mulch like straw, wood chips, or dead leaves. Mulch holds onto water like a sponge, reducing evaporation while feeding the soil below. Over time, this combo of water and organic matter transforms barren patches into fertile zones. Every drop of water you save has the potential to expand these moist microclimates that act as lifelines for your ecosystem. Have you ever felt the warmth radiating off a rock after sunset? That's the magic of heat sinks. This principle can be harnessed to protect fragile plants during cold nights or to extend growing seasons. Place large rocks or brick structures around frost-sensitive plants. During the day, these materials absorb sunlight, and at night, they release that warmth into their surroundings. As temperatures drop, those extra degrees of heat can be the difference between survival and frost damage. Here's a surprising tip. Combine heat-retaining rocks with shaded areas to create a balance of cooler days and warmer nights. This method works wonders for establishing temperature-sensitive plants that require a bit more TLC. Heat sinks are like quiet heroes. They work passively, helping plants flourish without needing constant attention from you. Here's where it all comes together. Microclimates aren't isolated, one-off features. When combined thoughtfully, shaded areas cooling the air, windbreaks reducing stress, and moist zones boosting fertility, they form a resilient network of thriving zones. Each microclimate supports the others, creating a regenerative system greater than the sum of its parts. Your goal should be to design this network with intention. How do the sun, wind, and water interact on your land? Which plants can serve double duty, providing shade while anchoring soil? Where can a single basin or a strategically placed stone have the most impact? The answers might surprise you, especially once you start observing your space closely. While I'm still in the planning stages of my larger permaculture project, I've been testing these ideas on a smaller scale right in my backyard. For example, I added some shade cloth over my vegetable beds to protect them during the peak summer heat. I planted a few drought-tolerant species like lavender and yarrow, which are hardy yet attract pollinators. I strategically placed rocks around the base of these plants to trap moisture and regulate temperature. The results? Even in this small experiment, I've seen noticeable improvements. The plants are thriving, the soil feels healthier, and everything looks more alive. It's proof that even small, deliberate changes can bring about incredible transformations. Of course, creating microclimates comes with its own challenges. One of the trickiest parts is determining where to place each feature. This requires a deep understanding of your land. Where does the sun shine most intensely? Which direction does the wind come from? How does rainwater flow and settle? It may take time, but observation is your most powerful tool. Be patient, experiment, and don't be afraid to adapt your designs along the way. In the next episode, we'll explore something I'm deeply passionate about: building community and learning from others. Permaculture isn't just about working the land. It's also about connecting with like-minded people and sharing knowledge. Big dreams, like rebuilding ecosystems, require collaboration and collective effort. I'd love to hear from you, too. If you have tips, success stories, or creative ideas about designing microclimates, drop them in the comments below. Let's keep learning and growing together. Thanks for tuning in, permaculture friends. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this episode with anyone dreaming of a sustainable future. Let's keep transforming these ideas into reality, one step at a time. EcoAlchemy. Transforming dreams into reality, one step at a time.